On the first night of February 1959, 9 ski hikers died mysteriously in the mountains of what is now Russia. The night of the incident, the group had set up camp on a slope, enjoyed dinner and prepared for sleep, but something went catastrophically wrong because the group never returned. So on January 27, 1959, 8 men and 2 women from the Ural Polytechnical Institute set out for 300-kilometer skiing expedition. Members of the group were aiming to earn their grade skiing certification. The expedition was led by Igor Dyatlov, whose name would be linked to the incident and to the pass where the group met their fate. Due to poor health, one of the 10 turned back early. The other 9 never returned. When the hikers were more than a week overdue from their final destination, an extensive rescue operation was set in motion. On February 26th, which was almost a month later, searchers found the hikers' abandoned tent, which had been ripped open from the inside. Surrounding the area were footprints left by the group, some wearing socks, some wearing a single shoe, some barefoot, all of which continued to the edge of a nearby wood. That's where the first 2 bodies were found, shoeless and wearing only underwear. The score bore marks of death by hypothermia, but as medical examinators inventoried the bodies, as well as the other 7 that were discovered over the months that followed, hypothermia no longer made sense. In fact, the evidence made no sense at all. One body had evidence of a blunt force trauma consistent with a brutal assault. Another had 3rd-degree burns. One had been vomiting blood, one was missing a tongue, another body was missing both eyes, and some of their clothing were found to be radioactive. Some theories started to floating around, which include KGB interference, drug overdose, an UFO, gravity anomalies, and the Russian version of the Yeti. For more than 60 years, the mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident has gone unsolved. How did the 9 ski hikers die in the mountains? Well, avalanche investigators, with some help from the movie Frozen, they think they know the answer. Diaries found at the campsite showed that the group's last night was February 1st, 1959. The hikers had gotten a bit off course and ended up camping higher on the mountain slope than their original plans, which would have put them about a mile downyard by the woods. The last photograph on the skier's camera showed the group cutting into the snow slope to erect their tent. Russian authorities long ago realized that the snow on the mountain covered the undulating terrain, and the skiers must not have realized that the slope they were setting up camp on was about 30 degrees, which is the minimum incline needed for avalanches to start. Expedition members also might not have realized that the underlying snow layer was loose and slippery, allowing the snowpack on the top to slide. The trigger that started the slide was most likely katabatic winds, fierce winds blowing down from a mountain. While the group was sleeping in their tent, these downslope winds must have carried snow from higher up on the mountain to start the avalanche. Part of the reason the mystery remained was that the search party did not see evidence of large avalanche, but this is where the new theory steps in, which points the finger at a small but strong slab avalanche. The Disney movie Frozen also aided in solving the mystery. The excellent depiction of snow's movement in Frozen propelled investigators to visit the movie's animators. By using the animators' code to simulate an avalanche's impact on humans along with information from General Motors' test of crashes on dead bodies, investigators showed that a block of ice no bigger than an SUV could have caused the resulting injuries when it rammed into the tent. The victims with chest and head injuries survived for a time before surrender to their wounds, which concur with what the computer models revealed. The rest of the strange situation can be explained from events following the avalanche. The various stages of undress were probably a result of the victims having been struck by the avalanche while they were out of their skiing clothes and in their sleeping bags, which could be the result of what is known as paradoxal undressing when someone dying from hypothermia begins to feel overheated and take off the clothes. The missing eyes and tongue would have resulted from scavenging animals which had plenty of time to find and feed off the bodies that were exposed to the elements for weeks. The curious radiation found on some clothing can be explained away by the thorium in the gas lanterns found in the tent. But without surviving witnesses, the mystery can never be 100% solved. Yet the slab avalanche theory comes closest to fully explaining a disaster at Dyatlov Pass. What do you think was happening out there? Write down in the comment below your version of theory. Until the next time, take care.